The boy gets bullied at school for a long time. After suffering day after day, he can't take it anymore. He decides to jump off a bridge. When he sees a truck coming under the bridge, he jumps without hesitation. Right at that moment, a gang leader named Kim Dukpal happens to see him. He successfully saves the boy, but then something unexpected happens. When he wakes up again, he looks like the boy who jumped. Turns out the two switched souls. When the boy jumped, their souls swapped places. While he's still shocked about what happened, he hears his gang members shouting outside. When he opens the door, he thought he was dreaming. A punch wakes him up. He hears Han Jongcheol say he killed Kim Dukpal. Before he understands what's going on, Kim Dong-soo drags him to his own memorial, making him apologize at Kim Dukpal's shrine and thank him for saving his life. Kim Dukpal can't accept that he's dead. He yells, "Who died?" at them. He asks who gave them permission to hold a funeral. He insists he's still alive and well. They tell people to drag this brat away and call him a stupid brat. Dukpal says it's because of how he looks now. That's why they don't recognize him. He asks how they could not know him. He scolds them, saying it's because of him they're still alive. Yet they show no gratitude and insult the dead. The chairman sitting nearby doesn't want more trouble, stops Jongcheol, and tells him to leave. Dukpal swears he'll come back alive. Jongcheol asks what he's coming back as, says only his big brother should return. Dukpal goes to the room with his own body. He tries to get his body back, but he doesn't know how to do it. He just holds his own dead body, hoping for a miracle. The person is already dead. Holding hands or hugging won't help, unless he can go back in time. But that doesn't seem to work. So he goes back to the bridge where it happened. He jumps like the boy did, hoping to get his body back, but nothing changes. When he wakes up again, the first thing he does is look for a mirror. He sees his reflection, but he hasn't changed back. He also broke his leg. He quickly gets up to go to the funeral, but it's already over. Kim Dukpal's funeral. The big shots came looking for you before the cremation, saying it was your last chance. They hoped you'd sincerely ask for his forgiveness, but that was 3 days ago. Dukpal feels confused. He doesn't know what to do. Next, staring at the sunset, he falls deep in thought. Back in his room, he tells himself now he must accept this young body. After such a big incident, why hasn't any family come to see him? Just then someone walks in, a woman with short hair. He thinks she's the boy's mother. Dukpal doesn't know what to do. She scolds him for not even saying hello. He nervously says hello. She asks if he's trying to provoke her. He quickly says that's not what he meant. She asks if he and his mom have a problem with her. She asks why they both. She asks why they always find ways to make her suffer in the middle of the night. She asks why he's in that place. She demands to know if his mother told him to do this. She asks if he thinks Chairman Bay will meet them just because he knows about this. She yells, if he's just doing this for attention. The woman complains and leaves the hospital room. Dukpal mutters about her bad temper. To fully understand the boy's situation, Dukpal sees a tablet on the couch. After unlocking it with face recognition, he finds Hyun's diary entries. The diary reveals his painful past. He suffered from school bullying for years. Every day, he stole valuables from home. If the bullies weren't satisfied, Hyun would get beaten up by them. Those damn losers. One day he just looked at a classmate, but the bullies called him a stalker. After that, everyone avoided Hyun. He became the school's laughingstock. People pointed at him everywhere. The bullies punished him, using his body as a punching bag. They treated him like an animal unable to bear the shame. He ended his young life. After reading Hyun's diary, he gets so angry that he snaps the tablet in half. Since fate made him become Hyun, he decides to start living again. He swears he will destroy them all because this is his specialty. And Hyun is actually a rich kid. He has a wealthy father and a famous mother, but he's actually an illegitimate child. His mother lives in a private villa. She drinks herself drunk every day. Secretary Lee watches over both of them. From the housekeeper, he learns Hyun must report all his actions to her, and all that alcohol was given to his mom on purpose. He says he'll teach her a lesson, having a rich kid's body. Dukpal happily accepts it, but looking at his long hair. First he goes to a barber shop to get a cool new hairstyle. Then he visits the library as a gang boss. He never finished elementary school, but he once dreamed of going to college. He even hired a tutor for this, but work got too busy, so he gave up his dream. Now he can finally study properly. While Hyun buys basic textbooks, he doesn't recognize his classmate. He even talks like an adult. This makes his classmates suspicious. Why does he talk like that? He sounds like a grown-up. Soon, Hyun finally starts school. A luxury car takes him to school. The driver tells Ehyun he used to get out before reaching school. Now Dukpal controls Ehyun's body. He decides to stop being low-key. He calls out to the driver. He orders to stop right at the school gate. Ehyun gets a new haircut. He just entered 12th grade. Many classmates don't recognize him. When the teacher calls his name, everyone is shocked. Is that Song Ehyun, the outcast Song Ehyun? That's Song Ehyun really? Did he always look like this, so handsome? After class, the bully picks a fight, but he doesn't know Ehyun's body has a gangster inside, even against 6 high schoolers. He doesn't care about them at all. The bully doesn't realize the danger. They try to bully him like before they call him a stupid kid. Everyone is shocked by this scene. Is this really the same weakling they bullied every day? A chubby boy doesn't believe it. He rushes forward immediately. He finds he can't even knock him down. He thinks if it were his own body, one punch would be enough. The soul belongs to the gang leader, but the body is still a high school student's. As expected, Song Ehyun gets beaten up again. But it doesn't matter. He has the heart of a fighter. Soon he will crush the bullies and win the school beauty's heart. But now there's another problem. This classmate of Ehyun didn't recognize him in the library earlier, so he keeps staring at Ehyun. He asks, "Aren't we friends?" His name is Choi Se-kyung. Ehyun once wrote in his diary he really wanted to be friends with Choi Se-kyung. Last time he got accused of stalking just for glancing at him. Even when bullied by the school gang, he still cares about Se-kyung's feelings. No one knows what Ehyun really thinks about Se-kyung's question. He pretends he hit his head. He says it made him lose his memory. But Choi Se-kyung doesn't believe him. She thinks this guy is dangerous. She asks if he's really Song Ehyun. The next day comes the gangster boss starts school life. He sees girls' colorful pens. He looks at his plain black pencil. He asks to go to the store with the girls after school. 3 girls. They're shivering like purple potatoes. They complain about wearing skirts in cold weather. They say it'll make them sick when old. Just then Ehyun comes to help them. He invites them into his Bentley car. The girls are shocked. The bullied boy is actually rich. He takes them out for dinner. They think he's changed completely before. He never wanted to socialize. Next day, he buys colorful pens. His humor helps him. He quickly becomes friends with the girls. Ehyun enjoys school life now. Before his life was all about fighting. In PE class he shows great athletic skills. He jumps over a 1-meter-high hurdle. Even the teacher finds it unbelievable. Ehyun used to be weak, but after starting school again, Ehyun seems like a different person. He also speaks better now. He says under a good teacher there are always good students. A strong leader makes strong followers. After class Ehyun sees his father's secretary at school. He quickly follows her and asks why she's here. Turns out she's here to watch Ehyun. She even plans to send him to boarding school. The old Ehyun was weak, but now he has a gang leader inside him. He won't let this arrogant woman push him around. Secretary Lee yells at him for talking back. He says Chairman Bay's wife is dying. If she dies his mom could take her place. He asks if that's why she's nervous. He says he'll decide where he stays, not her. Ehyun exposes Secretary Lee's plan. Then he threatens her. He even steps on her sunglasses. Secretary Lee is furious but can't argue back. She never thought she'd lose to a high school student. In the days that follow, Ehyun exercises every day. His body is still weak now, but he will get stronger soon, even though he's just a beginner fighter now. He used to be a top-level fighter before, so he knows advanced techniques. Getting stronger is easy for him. One day, Ehyun goes to the bathhouse. He meets 2 gang members. They try to scare him, this clueless high school student. But Ehyun ends up teaching them a lesson. He's actually kind. After the lesson, he gives them some money. As soon as Ehyun leaves, the gang member's boss arrives. The fat boss used to work under Dukpal. He brings the school bully who often picks on Ehyun. The bully wants to join the 7 Stars gang. The boss tells them to follow his 2 men. The bully watches Ehyun walk away. He thinks Ehyun looks familiar. Back at home, Se-kyung suddenly shows up. He pretends to help Ehyun with homework, but he has a secret plan that Ehyun's mom gets drunk again. He rushes to help her. Se-kyung uses this chance. He sneaks into Ehyun's room to search. But soon after Ehyun comes looking for him, he asks what Se-kyung is doing. He asks if Se-kyung thinks he hid Song Ehyun Choi. Se-kyung demands to know where Song Ehyun is. Se-kyung still suspects he's an imposter because Ehyun visited him before attempting suicide. They must have shared some secret. But when Ehyun asks what Se-kyung said, then he refuses to answer. Just then, Ehyun's mom starts drunkenly acting up again. He quickly goes downstairs to calm her down. Turns out Ehyun hid her alcohol. Ehyun's mom has a sad story. She was once a famous actress. That's how she met the wealthy chairman. But she accidentally got pregnant with Hyun. After that, Hyun's rich father cut off her career. Now she drinks heavily every day. After settling his mom, Sae-kyung says he's going home. The next day comes the bully gang corners Hyun again. Now he has his fighting skills back. Seeing Hyun act so bold, they hand him a phone. It shows old videos of Hyun being bullied. After watching the videos, he gets so angry that he snaps his new Huawei phone in half. The bullies see how bold he is. One underling immediately steps forward to teach him a lesson, but the leader stops him to show his status as the school's top bully. He wants to handle it himself. He plans to beat Song Hyun until he begs for mercy. After saying some tough but meaningless words, the bully steps forward to get beaten up. Everyone is shocked. Is this really the same Song Hyun who used to get bullied every day? They quickly try to gang up on him, but the leader stops them again. He thinks he just got careless and didn't dodge. Then the bully throws a punch. Seeing Song Hyun take a hard hit, the group finally feels satisfied. Little do they know, Song Hyun just wanted to test the bully's strength. Then he takes off his jacket, ready to have some fun with the bully. The bully stares at him in disbelief. Song Hyun says he hit his head before. People only change their old ways after going through something big. The bully doesn't understand what he's saying. He steps forward to get beaten up again. Seeing how fierce Song Hyun is, they switch to gang up mode. They knew he was strong, but not this strong. Hyun barely lifts a finger. His bullies fall to the ground instantly. In less time than a mobile game match that the school bully, who tormented Hyun daily, lies beaten on the ground. Hyun walks toward the gang leader. He grabs the leader's head forcefully. The leader asks if he's in a gang. Hyun says he's the second in command of 7 Stars gang, Kim Duk-pal. Meanwhile, the teacher talks with Sae-kyung about Hyun being bullied often. Just then they spot the fight downstairs. Hyun is attacking the bullies. Now the teacher yells, "What are you doing?" telling them to freeze until he arrives. This scene reminds Sae-kyung of Hyun being bullied before. She's now sure this Hyun is an imposter. The teacher rushes downstairs, but the bully lies first. He says Hyun told them to attack and admits being Gangster himself. Gangster? How angry must he be to say that? After your bullying, his words make sense. Hyun explains to the teacher, "They cornered me here first. He was just defending himself." The bully is so angry he could cry, but their bad reputation doesn't help. Plus, the teacher already knows about Song Hyun being bullied from then on. Whenever Hyun sees them picking on others, he steps in right away. If the bully tries to fight back, Hyun beats him up badly. They have no choice but to obey. They don't dare disobey Hyun. The bully suddenly lifts Hyun's shirt. He's shocked by the ugly birthmark. He confirms it's really Song Hyun. He asks about his ties to the 7 Stars gang. Did he learn his skills from Kim Duk-pal? Why does he seem like a different person? Hyun warns them sternly, "Stop bullying other students. No more skipping class or being late, or you'll get beaten again." The next day, they actually show up for class. Even the teacher is surprised and says, "It's great you came to class. Just try to be on time next time." After class, Hyun just gives a signal. The school bully obediently walks over. Hyun warns him to come to school on time, or it will affect class. The classmates are shocked. They show disbelief on their faces. Everyone starts guessing this Hyun isn't the real Hyun. No one can change so quickly, not in such a short time. Meanwhile, Sae-kyung took Hyun and his mom's hair when he visited Hyun's house. Before he uses connections to compare their DNA, soon the fake Hyun will be exposed. But Hyun has another problem, the school's practice test. He used to work for a gang fighting and claiming territory every day. Now he can only score 0 on tests. 3 girls ask Hyun to hang out. He says no. He needs Sae-kyung to tutor him. As they argue, 3 basketball players approach. They know Sae-kyung ranks first in school. They ask to study with him at night. When Sae-kyung hesitates, they make mocking comments, mainly about Hyun being a stalker. Seeing Sae-kyung embarrassed, Hyun steps forward. He asks why they don't include him. He asks if he can even be the leader. Choi Sae-kyung says if Hyun joins, then he'll join too. The 3 see how well they get along. They turn and leave. As they walk away they mumble. They wonder when Choi Sae-kyung became so close with the stalker. Then Hyun talks to him. He says if Sae-kyung helps him improve his grades he'll do anything. Sae-kyung asks if he really means anything. Then Hyun walks out of the classroom. He finds the 3 basketball players in the bathroom. They keep mocking Hyun as a stalker. Hyun doesn't use violence to solve the problem. Instead, he grabs the basketball from one of them. He suggests playing a game. They ask if he knows they're on the school team. Hyun challenges all three at once. He sets the rule, first to score 5 points wins. They laugh and call him a big talker. They think Hyun is no match for them. But they don't know. Dukpal inside him used to sit in the back row. He wasn't good at studying, but he was great at everything else. The whole school hears about Hyun's challenge against 3 school team players. Everyone gathers at the court to watch. Choi Se-kyung follows too. He gets shocking news over the phone. Hyun's mom is actually his birth mother. Choi Se-kyung can't believe it. The Hyun standing before him is real. Now Hyun faces 3 opponents alone. He shows no fear. He dribbles past them like Allen Iverson. He shoots like Stephen Curry. He scores 2 points easily. Now the ball goes to the other team. Hyun steals the ball, turns and shoots smoothly. When the 3-pointer goes in, he humiliates the 3 school team players. He completely embarrasses them. Then Hyun confronts them. He gives them a serious warning. He asks if they've ever seen him stalk anyone. They call him a stalker without proof. He also warns everyone watching he's not a stalker and no one will bully him anymore. Dukpal helps Hyun regain his lost dignity. Little by little he gets it back. Now, only his grades are bad. Choi Se-kyung comes over just then. She offers to tutor Hyun. They go to the study room together. The tough guy starts his learning journey. But the books work better than a lullaby. The next day, many students approach Hyun. Many classmates come to see Hyun because they heard about his heroic act yesterday. They all ask Hyun to teach them basketball. Hyun starts showing off. He asks if they don't like soccer. They ask if he's good at soccer too. He says compared to soccer, basketball is just beginner level. Classmates ask why he hid his skills. Our class always gets beaten badly. Then the homeroom teacher enters. He brings the exam results as expected. Hyun fails terribly. He begs Se-kyung to help improve his grades. To thank him, Hyun takes him to the store. Se-kyung sees pineapple bread. He remembers Hyun's nanny said Hyun is very allergic to pineapple. One bite sends him to the hospital. So Se-kyung buys pineapple bread. He wants to test Hyun. As Hyun puts it in his mouth, Se-kyung quickly stops him. Hyun thinks he wants the bread, so he eats jelly instead. But Se-kyung suddenly notices the jelly has pineapple too. Soon Hyun breathes heavily. Then he collapses on the floor. Finally Hyun gets taken to the hospital. When he wakes up, Choi Se-kyung gets very angry. She yells that he can't touch pineapple or he'll die. She asks why the test says you're Song Hyun, but you're not Song Hyun. Then Choi Se-kyung tells their story. On the night of the accident, he came to her for help, but Choi Se-kyung said no. When she heard Hyun was sick and couldn't come to school, she worried for days and couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about Hyun's health. She even went to his house to check, until she saw Hyun again at the bookstore. Se-kyung says at the bookstore, she really felt you weren't him. But later at school, when she knew you were someone else from that day, she couldn't even breathe. She really thought she was going crazy, afraid she might have killed him. She's so scared. Hyun is moved by Choi Se-kyung's words. He promises Se-kyung he'll make sure Hyun comes back safely. But now the most important thing is getting into college. After this, Se-kyung helps Hyun study hard. They become inseparable. They spend every day together studying late into the night. Their days pass peacefully. But today something unexpected happens that on his way home, Hyun sees 2 men in black kidnapping his mom. He immediately fights the men. Se-kyung rushes to save her from the car, but he spots a familiar face. The school bully runs away when he sees Se-kyung. They fight the men in black, but Se-kyung isn't much help in the fight. Hyun is stronger, but he has to protect Se-kyung too. Luckily the police arrive in time. The men in black finally let them go. Both are badly bruised. Hyun asks him, besides studying, what else are you good at? Se-kyung says, good looks. Hyun jokes, looks won't fill your stomach. You should train your body instead. His mom is taken to the hospital. The police come to ask about the case. When they ask if his mom has enemies, he thinks of Secretary Lee. So Hyun drops the case. He'll handle it his own way. Meanwhile, Secretary Lee is furious, but she never expected Hyun to drop the case. Now the school bully involved in the kidnapping is in big trouble. The kidnapper chooses to run away. He's also afraid Hyun will take revenge. For days he's too scared to go to school. Finally the two find the school bully, but Hyun doesn't blame him. The bully just followed the Chilsong gang. He didn't know it was a kidnapping. Besides, he was the one who called the police. When Hyun hears Dukpal's former gang members did the kidnapping, he immediately wants to see them. Soon Hyun is brought face to face with the two ex-gang members. When the hood comes off, they recognize Hyun. He's the high schooler who indirectly caused their boss's death, but they don't understand where this kid gets his confidence. Hyun says, "Dong-soo, what are you doing?" This makes John Cheol laugh. Just then the guy with braids recognizes Hyun. He remembers Hyun pretended to be their boss at the pool and beat them up. Hyun asks, "Does Chairman Bae know you're doing this? Did you even get rid of the chairman?" The braided guy can't take this anymore. Ponytail immediately tries to teach Hyun a lesson. But no one expected Hyun to be so skilled. The regular thugs are no match for him. Soon several gang members are knocked down. Fat John Cheol sees his men can't even handle a high schooler. He refuses to believe it. So he steps in to deal with Hyun himself. Hyun is surprised. He can't flip over. He asks if John Cheol gained weight. The fat guy asks why he'd ask such a sensitive question. How rude. Hyun miscalculates. He underestimates his own weak body. Hyun gets knocked unconscious. Meanwhile, the school bullies are cleaning up. After the teacher leaves, Blondie suddenly hugs his leader, Jaemin. He tells him they're going to 7 Stars gang now. But Jaemin has changed. Because of Hyun and Saekyung, he decides to stay away from gangs. But his gang members think differently. They've already joined 7 Stars gang. Now they won't listen to Jaemin. Seeing he won't obey, they try to drag him to their boss. Luckily, Jaemin runs fast. They chase after him. While running away, Jaemin sees Choi Saekyung standing alone. So Aoi grabs Choi Saekyung and runs with him. They hide in an alley to escape. Aoi tells him Song Hyun was captured by the 7 Stars gang, and they plan to take his mom too. Hearing this, Choi Saekyung gets very worried. He wants to rescue Hyun with Aoi, but Aoi is too scared to go. So Saekyung decides to go alone, because Hyun is his best friend. Now Saekyung thinks about calling the police, but remembers Hyun's words. If the police get involved, Song Hyun's life will change forever. That wouldn't be good for Hyun. So he goes to rescue Hyun by himself, but his dad keeps calling him. Saekyung has very strict parents. If he doesn't come home after school, his dad will beat him. After thinking hard, he decides he can't lose Hyun. But before he gets there, his dad tracks his phone and finds him. His dad asks why he's here. Saekyung says Hyun was taken here. His dad asks, "Taken?" He yells. If Saekyung tricked him to come all his life, Saekyung never disobeyed his dad before this time. To save Hyun, he asks his father for help for the first time. After all, his father is a prosecutor. He has the power to help. Meanwhile, Hyun wakes up from his coma. He talks with the current boss of Chilsong gang. They share many old memories. Dong-soo thinks Hyun must know his boss. That's why he risked his life to save Hyun. So it makes sense. He knows so much about the gang. Little does he know, Hyun now has memories of his boss Dukpal. He mentions things only the two of them knew. Dong-soo asks him, "Who are you really?" Hyun says he's a man of his word. "You should know that better." Shocked, Dong-soo has no choice but to let Hyun leave. Just then Saekyung and his father arrive. They meet at the entrance as a prosecutor. Saekyung's father dislikes his son being friends with someone like Hyun, but he still finds Dong-soo and warns him not to harm Hyun's family. Under the prosecutor's threat, Dong-soo calls his men to stand down. Dong-soo asks, "What's your relation with Song Hyun? What exactly is your connection?" The other person says they have no connection. "I'm trying hard to cut ties with him." Secretary Lee hears he didn't kidnap Hyun's mom. She immediately questions Dong-soo about why he didn't act. Then he says what happened tonight. Even the chief prosecutor got involved. He advises Secretary Lee to stop now. She reminds him he promised her something at the hospital. Actually, when Chairman Bae got stabbed and hospitalized, they urgently needed money for surgery. Back then they were just a small gang. They couldn't get that much money quickly. Luckily Secretary Lee helped them. She saved Chairman Bae's life. So Dong-soo owes her a favor. Now he has to follow Secretary Lee's orders. He must kidnap Hyun and his mom. After Secretary Lee leaves, Dong-soo tells Fat Brother about tonight. Hyun knows things only Dukpal would know. Fat Brother thinks Hyun is Dukpal's secret son, but Dong-soo thinks he's a liar. They decide to follow him, starting tomorrow. The next day comes, Hyun notices Saekyung acting differently. She stops helping him with homework. She doesn't even reply to his messages. Hyun feels very disappointed. He doesn't know what happened. Just then 2 girls come over. They give him a bottle of herbal tea. They say Saekyung didn't come today. They ask if they had a fight. Hyun says they didn't fight. He doesn't know why Saekyung isn't here. They tell him to make up soon. "Aren't you friends?" When Ehyun returns to class, he sees something shocking. Saekyung is tutoring another student. He watches them as he walks to his seat. He thinks Saekyung looks more annoying by the second. Without Saekyung's help, Ehyun plays soccer with other classmates. The student walking with Saekyung keeps bad-mouthing Ehyun. Saekyung raises his fist. He asks how it feels. Do you give up? He warns him to watch his mouth. After school, Ehyun finds Saekyung. He asks why Saekyung is ignoring him. Ehyun already guesses the reason, but he wants to hear it from Saekyung. Your mom drinks too much. Your dad doesn't care. And your grades. Dad says you should make better friends. He says, all this is for your own good. Though Saekyung's dad forbids him from seeing Ehyun, their strong friendship isn't something that can just end. They talk about many things together. Ehyun feels bad that Saekyung has such a strict father. After comforting Saekyung, Ehyun returns to school as a model student. He sees some bullies smoking. He immediately takes their cigarettes away and gives them a lecture. But Ehyun accidentally hears about Jaemin. Jaemin is too scared to go to school or even go home. Back in class, 3 girls quickly find Ehyun. From them, he learns they'll take a graduation trip tomorrow. The girls insist Ehyun must join them. But when taking photos, he still looks like a tough gangster. Just then a classmate suddenly finds Ehyun. He got Jaemin's address. Ehyun goes to see Jaemin at the convenience store. Because of what happened before, Jaemin is too scared to go to school. Ehyun promises to help fix things. He tells Jaemin to just go back to school. Then Saekyung suddenly calls, his phone rings. He says, this place is higher than he expected. It must have hurt when Ehyun jumped. Ehyun notices his words sound strange. He quickly goes to the bridge where he jumped before looking at Saekyung's head. He thinks something bad must have happened. Ehyun asks if he's okay. Saekyung says when he left home, he thought he could die peacefully. He asks if he can stay at Ehyun's place for one night. Ehyun says he'll take him to a nice place. Saekyung asks where to do things you've never done before. Ehyun takes Saekyung on a train away from home. He wants to free Saekyung from his dad. But by accident, Ehyun spots 2 gang members. He wonders why they're on the same train. Soon after, they arrive at a beach. Now they run freely here, filled with youthful energy. Even the gang members following them feel jealous. After playing at the beach, they go shopping for clothes. Dong-soo and Jang-cheol keep watching them. They're confused because Saekyung, a high school student, doesn't know how to ride a bike. After Ehyun teaches him patiently, they finally ride side by side. Dong-soo and Jang-cheol follow them from day to night. When they try to stay at a hotel, Ehyun runs into trouble, since both are underage. The hotel refuses to let them stay. It's too late at night now, and they can't ask a driver to take them home. Ehyun suddenly thinks of a place. He bluntly tells the motel owner that he's from the Chilsong gang, but the owner ignores him. He tells Ehyun to get lost. Ehyun asks if he forgot who helped him get this motel back. Don't you want to keep your one remaining testicle when you go to the afterlife? Hearing his weak spot mentioned, the owner hands Ehyun the key. After the 2 leave, Dong-soo and Jang-cheol show up. The owner doesn't recognize Ehyun's Dukpal disguise, but he knows Dong-soo and Jang-cheol. He complains to them, asking why they told everyone about his missing testicle. Dukpal promised to keep it secret. Did he tell you guys too about my condition? You know what? This is my first time hearing it. Back in their room, the 2 sense something's wrong. How does Ehyun know such a private thing? Even the boss said that high school students' tone was exactly like Dukpal's. Then Jang-cheol says the walls aren't soundproof. He'll keep listening to the next room's conversation. He won't stop until he hears Ehyun's secret. Ehyun knows why Saekyung ran away from home. While Saekyung sleeps, he secretly takes his phone. Soon after turning it on, Saekyung's dad calls. Saekyung's dad says he knew they'd be together. Ehyun asks if it's right for a son to fear his dad. Ehyun says he'll go to school on time. When Saekyung is ready, they can talk properly. Then, the next day comes. Sleepy Jang-cheol gets a call from Ehyun. He tells them to meet him upstairs. Big bro wants you upstairs. Big bro? Which big bro? Big bro Dukpal. When they find Ehyun, Jang-cheol gets angry. He thinks Ehyun is pretending to be Dukpal's son. Make him cut his finger. I want a DNA test. Ehyun asks if they have Dukpal's DNA for testing. Fat brother asks if DNA tests need that. If you're not Dukpal's son, we'll hand you over to Secretary Lee Seeing. They both misunderstand him. Ehyun starts his performance. First he talks about Fat brother. His dad was a farmer. To let his dad farm peacefully, Fat brother bought 900 pyong of land for him. But last year Fat brother's dad passed away, so he sent his disabled sister to rehab. Ehyun says he paid last month's rehab fees. Fat brother says Dukpal used to pay. Fat brother cries. Hearing Ehyun's words, he starts believing Ehyun. Next, Ehyun talks about Dong-soo. Dong-soo is an orphan at 19. He met Dukpal on the street. When he ran from the orphanage, someone stole his 3 million won. Dong-soo starved for days. Then Dukpal took him for a meal. Since then, Dong-soo saw Dukpal as his brother. Both are now convinced by Ehyun's story. He prepares to reveal he's actually Dukpal. Actually, I'm. Fat brother asks. You're Dukpal, his son. Ehyun looks confused. He wants to say he's their big brother, Kim Dukpal, but now he's treated as his own son. Since they believe he's Dukpal's son, he plays along. He decides to go with it. While the three eat together, Saekyung suddenly shows up. He's confused by what he sees. They used to hate each other. Now they're getting along happily. Soon they take a bus back to school. But Saekyung seems worried. He ran away from home because his dad secretly put cameras in his room. His dad's control has always suffocated him. When his dad found out he befriended Ehyun at school, the surveillance got even stricter. It made him think about ending his life. Luckily, Ehyun showed up in time. They spent a great weekend together. Now Saekyung must return to his dad's control. Ehyun notices his sadness. He tells him not to worry. When Ehyun enters class, he sees Jae-min is absent. The bullies still want to catch him for Dong-soo. Ehyun knows what they fear, so he calls Dong-soo directly. They're all shocked. The boss of the Chilsong gang, the boss of 7 Stars gang, is actually 2 ranks below Ehyun's father. He tells them to stop doing bad things, or they will face terrible consequences. Just then Saekyung's father arrives. He angrily tries to hit Ehyun. He thinks Ehyun is a bad influence on Saekyung. Luckily their teacher stops him. But Saekyung's father doesn't give up. That night the gang angrily confronts Jae-min. They think Jae-min knew about Ehyun's connections. Jae-min asks, "Know why I avoided you? Because I didn't want to fight you. I considered you friends. Fine, you'll all die by my hands today. You've worked hard these days." The next day comes. Ehyun's mother suddenly acts crazy. The maid tells him Secretary Lee stopped her medicine. Ehyun goes to buy the medicine, but the clerk says this depression drug has side effects. Too much can be addictive. It even causes hallucinations. Angry Ehyun calls Dong-soo. He learns Secretary Lee approached them first, hearing about Ehyun's mother. They face a difficult choice. On one side is their lifesaver. They also rely on his money to run their gang. On the other side is Dukpal, their nephew and the son of their late boss. They must choose between the two. Soon after Secretary Lee arrives, we're disbanding the Chilsong gang. Secretary Lee yells that they're crazy. She tells them to let go, but they still don't release her. Let go. Jang Cheol mocks her. Wow, what a loud voice. Goodbye and don't come back. Clearly Dong-soo and the others choose to help Dukpal's son. Secretary Lee storms out angrily, but outside she runs into the beaten-up bullies. By chance, she hears the mentioned song Ehyun. She immediately goes to find him. Meanwhile, Ehyun goes to school for class, but his classmates treat him differently. Now even the girl who likes him starts crying. Turns out Saekyung's dad starts a bullying committee. He plans to accuse Ehyun of bullying others. He also says Ehyun is linked to gang members. As a prosecutor, Saekyung's dad wants to send Ehyun to the prosecutor's office. Ehyun quickly calls Saekyung, but her phone won't connect. Then the police station calls him. The yellow-haired guys reported Ehyun for school bullying. Clearly this is Secretary Lee's doing. Being a high school student is really tough right now. Ehyun just wants to know one thing. Did someone switch his mom's medicine? Of course Secretary Lee denies it. She shamelessly says his mom got the medicine herself. Ehyun says they failed to kidnap his mom before. Now they're coming after him. Whether he goes abroad or juvenile detention, his mom will still end up in a mental hospital. After Chairman Bay's wife dies and his mom's in the hospital, you'll take the wife's position. Ehyun exposes Secretary Lee's plan. Then he warns her not to push her luck. But Secretary Lee ignores his threats. She vows to send Ehyun to juvenile detention, then hide his mom where no one can find her. She walks away swaying her hips. Their fight is about to begin. Luckily, when Ehyun returns to class, 3 girls give him some comfort. They don't believe he bullied anyone. They chat and laugh together. Then Saekyung enters the classroom. He tells Ehyun not to worry. He'll convince his dad to cancel the school committee. Right now the yellow-haired guys are the problem. Ehyun finds them at the pool hall. He gives them a final warning. If they drop the lawsuit now, he won't take any further action. Blondie argues that they were really beaten up too. If you don't drop the case, I'll sue you back. It's not clear who the real victim is. After warning them, Ehyun leaves the place. Blondie and his friends discuss the situation. They're scared of Ehyun's revenge, but they believe high risks bring high rewards. In the end, they decide to take the risk. Then the four go to their former leader, Jaemin. They hope he'll join their side. With him, their chances of winning would be higher. Jaemin quickly refuses, but the four remind him that he played a big part in bullying Ehyun before. This puts Jaemin in a tough spot. Meanwhile, Ehyun is called to the police station. His mom is in the hospital and his dad can't be reached. Officer Lee has to question him. Instead, Ehyun says he's the real victim. He tries to show the video they uploaded but finds it's already deleted. After leaving the police station, Ehyun calls his former gang members for help, but now these two men are his uncles. When Jang Cheol hears about this, he gets so angry he starts cursing. Ehyun tells them, the most important thing now is to catch Secretary Lee, then bring her to Chairman Bae. If we expose Secretary Lee's actions, she'll lose the chairman's protection. Then she can't compete with me anymore. Ehyun asks them to catch Secretary Lee. He says he has something more important to do. I need to prepare for midterm exams. This test is my first chance to improve my school grades. So I can't go to juvenile detention. Whether I can enter college depends on you guys now. Please help me. We got it, boss. Take care, boss. Soon Ehyun finishes his midterm exams. Surprisingly, he improves his scores very quickly. He even gets 61 points. After school, Jaemin finds Ehyun. He seems to want to say something, but just then the school beauty comes over. She invites Ehyun to eat rice cakes together sometime. Ehyun doesn't understand her feelings. He immediately agrees to her invitation. All the classmates stare at Ehyun in shock. No one expected the school beauty to like him. The class beauty, who secretly likes Ehyun, gets upset. She asks who's prettier, her or the school beauty. Looks-wise you're both pretty. But her face is smaller, so the proportions look better. The class beauty asks, so you're saying my face is bigger? No, it's not that I don't like small faces. A face with some weight, like yours, makes your features look clean and handsome. So you are saying my face is bigger? No, that's not what I mean. I'm not saying your face is big. It's just that her face is really too small. This is so annoying. You really don't understand women at all. Women's hearts are like needles in the sea. Ehyun says women's minds are harder than math problems. Then he gets called to the police station by Officer Lee because the bullies finally decided to sue him. As for Saekyung, he couldn't convince his dad to cancel the school committee. Tomorrow is the lawsuit day. Ehyun still hasn't found a solution. He goes to the hospital to care for his mom, seeing how much her son has changed. Mom says Ehyun must have met a girl he likes. You've gotten in better shape. When a man falls for someone, his body improves. Your father was just like that. Ehyun asks who it was. That's Secretary Lee. Not long ago your dad even bought her a villa. Ehyun can't believe it. Mom's casual words give him new hope. Ehyun then shares Secretary Lee's address with Jang Cheol and Dong-soo. They rush to the location. At the same time, Ehyun arrives at the prosecutor's office. He pins all hopes on finding Secretary Lee, but Dong-soo calls him. When they arrive, the villa is completely empty. Jaemin suddenly shows up. He betrays them at this moment. Ehyun demands to know why he's here. Jaemin says, isn't it obvious? I'm here to cause trouble. His sudden betrayal angers Ehyun. But the next second, he says the computer password is 9527. Jaemin wasn't really betraying them. He wants to help Ehyun get video proof. They start fighting immediately. Even gentle Saekyung joins the fight. Soon the guys with dyed hair are all knocked to the ground. Then the police arrive at the scene. Ehyun shows them the video of his past bullying. What surprises everyone is, Jaemin steps forward and admits his mistakes. I was the one who beat up Song Ehyun with them. We took his money and hurt him. The reason Ehyun jumped off that overpass, it was all because of me. In the end, Jaemin and his gang face legal consequences. They get punished for school bullying. This will leave a permanent mark on their lives. Ehyun feels a little sorry for Jaemin, but Jaemin believes he deserves this punishment. Just as Ehyun turns to leave, Jaemin suddenly sees the old Ehyun again. Their eyes meet. This time Jaemin sincerely apologizes to Ehyun. He seems to have finally found peace. Meanwhile, Ehyun gets a call and goes to the hospital. The long-missing Chairman Bae finally appears. Chairman, why are you always so careless? Now you've hurt your shoulder again. Last time, during the fight in Jiangling, you hurt your head and needed medicine. You just laughed it off like it was nothing. That's why we can't support you properly. Look how thin you've become. Wait, have we met before in private? Ehyun realizes he's talking too much. He quickly says he heard all this from his dad. Ehyun worries Chairman Bae might notice something. He tries to make up some weak excuses, but Ehyun doesn't expect what happens next. Chairman Bae knows Dukpal better than anyone. How could he not see that inside this high school student's body lives Kim Dukpal's soul? Ehyun can't hold back anymore. He really wishes someone could understand who he really is now. Soon after Ehyun goes to the hospital, his mom's illness is finally cured. After finishing the discharge, Ehyun tells his mom to leave his dad and find a good man to marry. But his mom says she hasn't worked outside for 20 years. She doesn't know how to deal with people. Ehyun mentions Chairman Bae. Then he suddenly remembers something. Ehyun rushes to the airport. He finds Secretary Lee behind Chairman Bae. She tries to run away when she sees Ehyun. Are you Song Ehyun? You shouldn't call me Song Ehyun. You should call me your son. Okay, construction, Chairman Bae. He grabs Secretary Lee and pulls her back. Chairman Bae looks at Ehyun in disbelief. He can't believe how much his son has changed. It's only been 5 years since they last met. Ehyun accuses them of kidnapping his mom. He also talks about how they framed him. He tells them everything. Secretary Lee tries to make excuses, but Chairman Bae already knows her well. He understands what kind of person she is. Chairman Bae says her nervousness proves it's true. Can you handle the consequences of this? You shouldn't kneel to him. You should kneel before me instead. I'm the one you've wronged. What are you waiting for? Finally, Secretary Lee kneels and apologizes to Ehyun. She gets what she deserves. From now on, Secretary Lee loses her powerful backer. She'll have to behave carefully now. After getting revenge for his mom, Ehyun tries to leave, but Chairman Bae stops him. Chairman Bae praises him, saying, "This is how his son should be. I'll put you in the family registry." Although Ehyun finally gets his father's approval, he refuses to be added to the registry. He scolds Chairman Bae for being a bad father. He even says a man who abandoned his family. He says Chairman Bae isn't even worthy of being called a man. After lecturing Chairman Bae, Ehyun turns and leaves back in class. 3 girls quickly find Ehyun hearing he dealt with the school bully. They finally feel relieved. But the class beauty is still mad at Ehyun. With help from her friends, Ehyun finally understands. The class beauty forgives him. Then Saekyung enters the classroom. Seeing Ehyun, he mysteriously pulls him outside. He asks if Ehyun is possessed. They look exactly alike and DNA tests say he's Song Ehyun. Ehyun doesn't know how to explain. He makes up an excuse to leave, hurrying away nervously. He accepts the school beauty's invitation. They eat rice cakes together at a restaurant. She confesses her feelings to Ehyun. After hesitating, he says he'll answer in 2 days. She says, "Okay, I'll wait." Next day, Ehyun takes Saekyung to a funeral home. He reveals his true identity as Kim Dukpal. He explains everything honestly to Saekyung's song. Ehyun has returned. Saekyung asks, "Are you really Ehyun?" At this moment, the real Song Ehyun returns. He says his final goodbye to Saekyung. They talk for a whole day and night. It feels like they have endless things to say. Finally, they let go of the past. When morning comes, Ehyun's spirit also says goodbye to Dukpal. Now he has completely moved on. Ehyun tells Dukpal to live well in his body. Then he leaves this world. At the end of the story, Ehyun turns down the school beauty's confession. He gets into college as he wished, and he even attends the same school as Saekyung.